Okay, so I'm starting the stream.
Oh, yes.
Hey everyone, the name is Erik Thor, and I am gonna do this intro. I'm not
Hey
gonna let.
everyone, I'm Frog, and I'm doing the intro today for Erik Thor,
No,
because I'm way better at it.
no.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Today we're doing a stream, and we're gonna debate about some issues Erik Thor thought up, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge, as a certain orange president would say, which is the greatest color in the world. We love orange. How do you think? What do you think of my intro?
Perfect, perfect. So Jurassic Park. What personality type would you say the raptor is? The
Very
Velociraptor.
opportunist, so I'm gonna say an ESTP.
An ESTP. Huh. Would you say that thinking perceiving makes you more opportunistic?
No, but it makes you better at being opportunistic.
Ah, okay, okay. Well, actually, today's topic is going to be first. I thought of an analogy yesterday. I was at an MBTI meetup in Amsterdam with Frank and with other people from Discord, from the community. It's really fun. And I thought that we have four different modes that we tend to switch between. And these modes are very relevant to the subtypes that I talk about a lot of the time. And I realized that there are people that are, you could say, screenwriters. There are people that are directors. There are people that are actors. And there are people that are reviewers. And I was thinking that some of us, sometimes we are in screenwriting role, in the sense that we are a screenwriter. We're writing a play. We're writing like out a kind of story for ourselves. We're thinking, okay, what kind of story should I live out? We're thinking about, okay, what decision should I make? What life should I live? What job should I get? We're running simulations. We're daydreaming about different ways to live life. We are going back and reflecting on life lessons in the past, things we've experienced, and we find like comfort in that, and we find like that as a we build to build up our character and to build up who we are. And that's like the part of the screenwriting. Sometimes we are in the screenwriting role and then we're just thinking about then we're busy thinking about what life decisions to make and how to live in a sense. But then there is the acting role, and the acting role I think is interesting in a sense because then we have a play written already for us, and it's the play that we are in right now. It's the people we are around, the environment we're in, the things we're experiencing right now. So when we're in that acting role, in a sense, we are accessing different functions than when we are in the screenwriting role, and we are tapping into different questions like, where am I right now? What are my current possibilities? What are my current possible decisions? What do I make of the key things I've got around me? I think in the moment when you're in the acting role, it's a lot about decision making. It's a lot about control. um, you you're kind of given information and you kind of think about it a little, but the primary focus in the acting role is, what do I respond to it? What do I say in return to it? What do I do? Where do I go? Do I go left? Do I right? Do I take the turn there? Should I do this? Should I do that? And in the screenwriting role, we're using a lot of introverted intuition, for example. We're using introverted sensing a lot. We're using maybe extroverted intuition or extroverted sensing, even, I think, in the sense that we can write that script based on external circumstances and the things that are happening around us and what has happened to us and where we are. Where in the acting role, we're using more intuition and perceiving, or intuition and judging, or sensing or perceiving, or sensing and judging. In the acting role, it's a lot more about control over yourself and about what's happening around you. Um, then there is like the directing role, in the directing role, I think you can get a little more bossy. You can go. You're about managing resources. You're about saying who should be there, what should happen then, who are my friends, who are my enemies, what are my resources, what do I have at my disposal. At what place should that person stand? How should that person be? Like if you have a set play in your mind, and you want people to execute it, then you're in the directing role. You're trying to make sure everything you need in your life kind of lines up. So in the directing role, you're thinking about, okay, what do I do to make my play happen? What do I do to make my script happen? And finally, the last role we have is the reviewing role. And in the reviewing role, we are often thinking, okay, so was that good or bad? Did I do a good or bad job? Did I make a smart or stupid decision? Should I have said that or should I have said that? Should I have done that or should I have done that? Was that person nice or was that person rude, or was that authentic, or was that a lie, or was that true, or was it not, like in a sense? So I think that often when we're in that role, we are much more about the we are much more about using feeling and perceiving, for example, or thinking and perceiving, or thinking and judging, or feeling and judging. Hey TVFB, nice to have you in here. It's you can see feeling perceiving in it, because when a feeling perceiving type, when you use feeling and perceiving, it's a lot about authenticating what other people say. It's about, were other people telling me the truth? Were other people right in what they said? Does that line up with my morals? Is that right or wrong? It's about making sure things come from the right place. You can see thinking and perceiving in it, in the sense of, was this accurate? Was this right? Was this correct? Was this does this line up with my with reason, with logic? Does this yeah? And overall, like in the reviewing stage, in the reviewing mode, what you're doing in many ways is you are scoring yourself, in a sense. You are scoring how well you did at something. You're rating yourself 1 to 5. You're rating other people 1 to 5. So it can be about judging yourself, or it can be about judging other people. And I think often, generally, thinking and judging, feeling and judging is so much more about like judging other people in many senses. How good is another person at the task? Is another thinking and judges are like they have this really good power of estimating how good someone is at a task. They know if who is capable of solving one problem, and they know who is better at solving another problem. So the thinking and judging type is often in the reviewing role, in the sense of, well, they go, that person is good at that task, and I know that person is good at that task, and that person is not suited for that task, and that person is not suited for that task. So when you're using thinking and judging, it's so much about like who is useful for what, who is good for what, who is good at what. So it's kind of basic analogy, but I think it kind of presents, it's a good way to introduce the functions, especially when you start diving deeper into it, because it shows often how you use the functions, and how they are similar in many ways. So that's my kind of first introduction to all of this. I was just thinking to start with a basic question like, do you think you are more in a writing role right now, or do you think you're more in an acting role, or do you think you're more in a directing role, or do you think you're more in a reviewing role?
Ooh, questions. I think I'm currently more in the acting role, because I just, how do I explain this? I'm, as Erik just said, it's more about controlling the situations, and I'm more in. They want to see this. and with this, then like that.
Yeah. Hey, who's the new one?
Hey, I was summoned by Susanna.
Oh, yeah.
Susan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I don't actually know what's going on, but I was like, hey, cool. Let's hang out.
Nice to have you all here.
I don't know either. I just guessed the name of the room. Sorry.
Good job.
So what's the topic of conversation here? Is there a specific agenda or just hanging?
It's a live hangout, so it's pretty much free for all. But the question right now is if you are if you're thinking more about if you are in the like what mode are you currently in your life right now? Are you more in the role where you're thinking about your decisions and your long-term plan and what you're gonna do and where you're coming from, your history, or are you more in the role of acting out set plan or set agenda? Or are you more in the path of kind of reviewing your past decisions and other people's decisions and thinking if they were right or not? Or are you more in a directing role of kind of managing resources and making sure that you get everything you need to kind of complete your agenda or your plan or to do what you need?
I'm at the stage of my life where I'm just sort of wrapping it all up and just marking off. No, I'm just kidding.
You're done already?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm just finishing off the final things, making my will and stuff. But no,
I feel you.
no.
Closet in the back of your camera.
What did you say?
Can I have the closet in the back of your
Oh yeah, dude. It's all yours, man. I'll put in my will. You get my closet. What should I address you as? Guy with the hat?
The dude from Jurassic Park.
The dude from Jurassic Park gets my closet, which I don't actually own anymore because my lease expired.
Aw.
No.
What about you, Susanna?
What I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
Always evaluating. Thinking, evaluating.
Because here's the thing. I think that I don't know if you've taken the hero code test that I announced, like with 4 life paths, and the reviewer should most likely be in the green path.
Oh, I'm not sure I took that test. I only took the one the type test, hero test.
Ah, okay. Well, there are 4 paths: the green, red, yellow, and blue path. And they are related to DISC, to dominant, influential, steady, and conscientious types. So in socionics, it's kind of used like the DCNH. It's used kind of as a subtypes theory in the socionics, and I use it as well as subtypes to identify the subtypes I talk about. And basically, I believe that you are 2 of these usually. Maybe you are a more dominant and influential person. Maybe you are a more steady and conscientious person. Or maybe you are a steady and influential person. Maybe you are a dominant and influential person.
That's difficult to evaluate for yourself, but people tell me I'm more influential than I see myself.
You're influencing them more than you realize.
Yeah, people tell me that afterwards.
I think that's often true though. Some people they exercise kind of a silent influence, you know, because you have also a very strong look, I would say, with your eyes. I think you get people to go, I wonder what she thinks. I wonder if she thinks I'm doing it right or wrong, and they look at you for like that guidance. Yeah. So in that sense, I think, but I think that's often how conscientious people lead. So I don't think that would make you an influential person. I think that's just conscientious people, because everyone knows conscientious people are very careful about how they do things and what they say and how they say something. people see conscientious people as, you know, the person that to look at, the anchor in a sense. To
Yeah. It's your look is very dominant and goal oriented.
yeah,
Conscious people. But Eric
Yeah.
said
yeah.
they look for that, and
That's interesting. I'm so not self-aware of these things.
Yeah,
It's
is
very
your
hard to be.
internal monologue different than this?
Yeah, very much so.
What's your internal monologue like?
Nothing in that regard.
I got a comment here. INFJ here. It's not so great. Is it not great to be an INFJ?
you should answer that, Eric.
Eric, what do you think? Is it not so great to be an INFJ?
It's not great. It's not good at all.
It's not great at all.
Be an ENTP. We are much better.
Yeah, just change types real quick. Just you know what?
Just restart. You picked the wrong character.
Yeah, roll the dice over. Start over the RPG. That's what it feels like sometimes. It's like RPG. Like I am this type and this preference, and
I'm gonna make one of those games.
like a Myers-Briggs game. It's like
No, like a Myers-Briggs type RNG.
That would be interesting, actually. I would be very interested in making that.
yeah, Eric, you should make that game. Like once you get really famous, just like make a Myers-Briggs game and like.
Zach is making it.
Who?
Oh, you might not know who it is, but someone is already trying to make a typing game.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's like an RNG.
Yeah, like an RPG type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, or is it more like helps you typing, or is it more an RPG?
No, it's multiple selection RPG thing. So like what direction you choose sets you up for the next choice.
Oh, does it decide your type based on the things you choose along the way,
Yes.
or what? Okay, so it's like you are at a crossroads. Do you take the left one or the right one? Oh, you're an introvert because you
No,
like
you
left path.
you have this problem and these options.
No, I was thinking more of making a game like you can pick the character and you just
Yeah,
get a certain
that's
amount of.
Good luck.
Like you get
I think
power
that-
ups. Like if you choose introvert, you get powers. Like your power is you recharge alone and like you can read books faster and shit.
Oh no. I would definitely pick extrovert in an RPG.
Yeah, it's true. Like an ENTJ or something, like an ESTP.
Hmm.
ENTJ power up. Just make money instantly. Like make $100 instantly once every 24 hours.
Your ENTP power up. You can convince anyone you didn't do it.
Logically.
Ciaran writes that INFJ is the hero that saves the world and ESTP gets all the credit.
I can see that.
EST power up. Steal all the credits of us.
Yeah, receive instant credit for anything.
I think that a good game, like if you take Second Life for example, I think Second Life would be really fun if they added like personality psychology elements to it. There was a horror game I played, The Last of Us, I think, or something, where you get the psychological evaluation as you play the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, several games have that actually.
Yeah.
Like how evil are you?
Oh yeah. But that's really interesting also because, well, it would really spice up the world of personality tests.
Evil versus good personality types. Like, are you an evil ENTP versus a good ENTP?
There are no good ENTPs.
I always relate it to being neutral good. The neutral good alignment.
What is neutral good like? Can you describe it?
I think it was that they have the good and evil and neutral scale, and then they have the
Yeah.
lawful, neutral, and chaotic scale.
Oh, okay, I see right here. Let me drop a link. Can I?
It's a system of alignments. So I think the lawful ones are the ones that trust society to establish what's right and wrong, and that follow the rules and order in society. Where the chaotic ones are the ones that go, oh, I don't care. So there's chaotic evil types that are like the Joker villains, and then there's chaotic evil villains that are like the dark priest of some evil cult religion, seeking to control everyone. There's the neutral scale of the people that simply have no alignment. They don't care about good or evil. They're more about preserving nature, maybe, or themselves, or something.
Yeah. I like the pictures because there's like a bunch of these like different pictures, like of all these people and stuff. Like they have like the Joker as like chaotic evil, and like Superman as lawful good and stuff.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. Can you link it?
Yeah, I sent a link in the chat.
Yes.
I like the true neutral one, but I'm probably lawful neutral.
I'm chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I like neutral. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm very chaotic neutral.
Jack Sparrow. I like the true neutral one. I feel like I've been drifting more towards true neutral.
Mm-hmm. It's
Maybe.
a pretty cool one to be. It's just like, I'm just a person, just like doing my thing. Actually, in this case, it looks like it's not a person, it's a tree. I'm just a tree doing my own thing.
Erik Thor, reconfirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've always dreamt of being a tree.
when I grow up, I don't want to be.
You need to change your intro to I am Groot.
Yeah.
Finally, I get an intro. Finally.
Just do that. That's your intro.
I've been waiting for an intro for so long. I am Groot. That's perfect. Or maybe the Ents from Lord of the Rings.
Plant of being a tree. I feel like if you're an ENTP, you're probably just going to be one of the chaotic ones.
Yeah.
I don't see how you could be a lawful ENTP.
I can see neutral good.
I can imagine that an ENTP could be all of these.
Like a lawful.
I can't imagine an ENTP being lawful good. No, that's just impossible.
I think
neither is lawful neutral.
Yeah. I think that you get some politicians from the ENTPs that are lawful good.
No.
Oh, true. Like who?
Yeah, like who?
I would say like, for example, the Canadian Prime Minister has that vibe, for example. And there's the Green Party leader of Sweden has a lot of that. But I think if they really go into thinking perceiving, and they go into being perfect in a sense, and if they really focus on that,
like perfecting their theories stuff.
Or lawful neutral, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I would be thinking.
What are you, Suzanne? What are you on the Matrix?
That one?
No, which one? Yeah, which one are you? You think?
I think I'm the lawful neutral.
That's what I would say.
Of a
Both
philosophical
lawful.
point.
Not enough chaos here.
So I think someone asked what an ENFP villain would look like, and I think that an ENFP villain could actually go like channel like their inner ISTJ in a sense, like an unhealthy ENFP. They would be like super. I think they would be super bossy and interrogating, and they would be like perfectionistic to a fault in a sense. They would probably be lawful evil if they went evil. Like they would, because ENFPs, when they go into evil mode, I think they always want to believe that they have a system behind them, that they have like a reason to be angry, like they have some kind of drive behind them to support their anger and to justify it and to what they do. So
A lot of like evil characters end up doing that, where they're like, well, my principles are true, and so I am just executing my principles by killing everyone.
yeah, I would say so. Where for an INFJ, I think an INFJ who goes evil goes more like chaotic evil, a little Jokerish in a sense. Like they kind of just hulk out and do something extremely irrational and crazy almost in a sense, just to spark attention, to get attention, to be noticed. Yeah, it would definitely be like a lash out like that for an INFJ.
Mm-hmm.
So can an INFP go evil at all?
Yeah.
Are they similar to an INFJ?
I think a little similar in the sense that they have that Hulk-like anger. INFPs can get really angry, like if they like have some things they don't deal with, in a sense. So I do think they can get a little into Hulk smash mode in a sense, where they are just vindictive and angry at everyone, and it usually comes from.
INFP goes evil. They say they're not evil. An INFP will never say they are evil.
No, they wouldn't think they were evil for sure. They in that role, they would think that they have a good reason to do what they do. And usually it would be like because they're feeling perceiving, maybe they feel like they've been lied to, or maybe they feel like they've been misled or deceived somehow, and that can probably trigger also a righteous anger in a sense. So that's a little similar to ENFPs. But I think both ENFPs and INFPs tend to believe in a kind of righteous anger, where INFJs we fall more into kind of an irrational anger.
Hulk-like.
Oh, smash.
Yeah.
Okay.
But mostly, like I think it's rare. It's rare for that to happen. I think usually what tends to happen is like the INFP more like blacks out and kind of just they think about doing it, but I don't think they do it usually. I was watching story 13 Reasons Why. It had an INFP character in it. The main character. It's a new series. It's about a girl who who kills herself, and she kind of gives him a quest to get vengeance for the people that drove her to take her life, and to get redemption, kind of.
That's the INFP drives to redemption.
Yeah, he was trying to give redemption to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to help her, and I think, of course, he felt guilty too about what his part in it, and wondering if he did something wrong.
Does he go crazy? Does he go evil?
For a while there, like he dances on that line because it's just so much stress, having the girl you love, losing the girl you love, and because what she does is she kind of records tapes explaining a series of tapes explaining everything that happened to her that made her do what she did. and he has to listen to her voice, and he doesn't want to listen to it, but he's kind of forced to by the other people who got the tapes. Yeah, it's a very, very, very good TV show. It was I was hooked.
Very dark show, I heard.
Yeah, it was dark. It was amazing.
But so he had all these tapes, so that he had all this evidence as to how he could redeem or validate her taking her life.
Yeah, and eventually it's about what decision he will end up making at the end of the tape when he finds out everything. 13 Reasons Why.
Cool.
Is the name. So a little back to the 4 different paths: the green, yellow, blue, and red. Obviously, like, I started investigating them more like a week ago, so I'm just in the starting of it. But a lot of the time, what I've noticed is that the green paths are usually the people who walk on the green path, which is a lot about like the right way to do things, correcting, evaluating, feedbacking. Like it's also like a lot about it's often inspired by trauma, and often I find that people on the green path are like struggling with some issue or some deeper trauma that often gets them to develop powers or abilities or something. You say sometimes it's like people who have had difficulties in life are often stronger in some ways if they come out of it. They come out with some new perspective on life. They come out with something. They learn something from it that's makes them stronger. That's something I've noticed about people on the green path. Often they say they have some issues. They talk about traumas. They have problems that they're dealing with that they're trying to kind of get over. With the red path, it's usually a path to courage in a sense. So it's also like the people on the red path are usually like adventurous. They're led by passion. They're led by some interest or hobby or curiosity. Often it's something that gets them to kind of break school rules maybe, or to ignore, procrastinate sometimes. Like a lot of the Reds, I think, have issues with procrastination in the sense that, they do what they find fun and interesting and engaging, but they kind of neglect their studies and duties and obligations sometimes. On the yellow path, I feel like it's often about seeking peace, and it's a lot about finding to create a good life for yourself, to find happiness, to find peace, to find good relations, to find love, to find friendship. Usually, like, people on the yellow path are people that are working hard to find stability, peace, and a good life for themselves. And all of these paths suggest that you use... Huh?
To talk about blue.
Well, you could say that when you are on the yellow path, usually, like, you're a steady personality type. You're usually influential. You're in many ways, I think you have strong intuition or you have strong sensing, depending on if you're a sensor or an intuitive. You have generally a strong introversion or you have a strong extroversion, depending on what type you are. So it doesn't, the path doesn't decide which type you are, but the path decides which 2 letters in your personality type that are your strongest. Is your I and N stronger than your F and J as an INFJ? Is your F and J stronger than your I and N as an INFJ? If 2 of your letters are more pronounced than the other 2, that suggests that you are, that suggests that you are on a certain path at the moment. So have you thought about this anymore? Like, have you thought about what path you're on? Or
Me?
yeah.
I just took the test now. The path of perseverance.
That's blue. That's similar to green in the sense that it's conscientious. It's about thinking about what you do in advance. It would suggest that you have strong thinking. And it would also suggest that your first letter is very strong.
Yeah, it makes sense though.
Yeah. Yeah, I am in Netherlands at the moment. I think personally that I am a mix of the red and green path.
That's interesting. I used to be very red and going more and more towards yellow since I'm getting older. I used to be just, I don't do anything I don't want to do. I only seek adventure. Well, more towards, well, she said stability. I would say peace.
Yeah. Yeah, like I feel like if I was more towards the yellow path, I would be much more to myself. I would be much more philosophical. I would be much more about the just existential issues. Why am I here? What am I doing? What is my purpose in life? And I would be in script writing mode. I would be thinking about my life script, my life story. I would be processing my current experiences and my history and my future. I would be like simulating and dreaming of what I would be doing in the future. Maybe future relationships, maybe future adventures or travel or something. So it also aligns a lot with the mode. Like when you're in the red mode, I think you're a lot more in the acting mode. Um, the red path kind of puts you on a path where you have to make quick decisions, where you have to adjust, where you have to adapt, where you have to um, kind of do the best with what life throws at you. Like if life gives you lemons, make lemonade or whatever. I think that on the red path you are kind of experiencing you kind of feel like you get a script thrown at you. You get little say in what your life is going to turn out to be. And I feel like that was my life for a long time. I feel like for a long time I had plans, I had visions, and I tried all the time to plan and to get something. But in politics, things surprise you all the time, and it's impossible almost to plan ahead because there is always something new happening. So I feel like I had to adapt all the time and find a way to kind of maintain my vision no matter what, and to find ways to align my vision with whatever was happening. I think that when you're on the red path, I think you also make a lot of mistakes.
So I'm on the yellow path, apparently. You said earlier tonight I'd be blue, but I did the quiz and I came up with yellow. So
Was your score strong for S?
Nothing was much higher than say 50, 53 or 55 or anything. So nothing was like off the Richter.
Well, maybe my test was wrong then. It's possible.
Which one? The one where you were talking to me, or the one where you threw the questions on the website to me?
I think the website, would be more wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so blue it is, huh?
I think so, but it's up to you. Like, what do you think after reading on it? Also,
I just picked the one I liked the most. Yeah, I could definitely relate to the yellow. Feeling fairly philosophical, mapping out my life. Yeah, looking back and looking forward. Does that sound right? But what was blue? Blue was that just to do with curiosity or?
No, well, yeah, blue I think has a lot to do with wanting to learn and to
Wanting
acquire
to learn.
resources. I would say, like it can be about uh, learning the truth about something, figuring out the systems, learning to solve a problem. It can be about making many friends. It can be about getting a lot of money. Uh, the blue path, like an ENTP, for example, who would be on a blue path, would be the person that wants to make the most money before they die. In a sense, they would be the one that wants to acquire as much resources as possible. In a sense, they're very achievement oriented in that sense. Where the INFP in the blue path is more like an introverted feeling type at the first of all, in the sense that they are all about like, what is the point of life? I want to understand people. I want to understand everything about everyone. I want to figure out everyone's core drive, and I want to figure out the truth about everything and everyone, like, in a sense. Like IFs and ETs are so opposite in that blue drive, because, well, to the INFP, it's it's about Carl Jung spoke a lot about that as well. I think he was also a very strong IF in a sense, in that he was always questioning the point of material things and of experiences, and he was always like, what's the reason behind it? Why should we have it? He was always more interested in learning the value of things, but not having things in per se.
So what is the point of material possessions then?
Good question.
Like there's survival, there's stuff that we need for survival, but then there's obviously a shitload of material possessions that we like to have around us at all times, me included. So, I mean, I'm not poor, but I'm not seeking riches. So, yeah, why do we have material possessions? Full stop.
I do want to say that I don't think that anyone truly values money. I think every one of us recognize that money is just a means to an end. I think even healthy and TJ would say that.
Yeah, but money is like a symbolism of power, and some people really do value power.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It would be the power that would interest the ENTP on the blue path, not the money in itself.
Oh, okay.
Because the blue path is about a lot about acquiring resources, like having friends by your side to help you out, having things that you can use to survive and to make your script happen. If you have maybe imagine like Bill Gates, he has a lot of power in a sense as an ET type. He can do and execute any script he would like he can start up any kind of project. So I think when you're on the blue path, you're all about acquiring those kinds of powers so you can do things with it also. That's important to emphasize.
So you can either do it the hard way, one item at a time, gradually build up your resources, your friends, your family, your networks, your connections, or you could just go for the cash.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
and you can get the same things from that as well. Didn't realize it was that easy.
I think that a lot of people who are on the blue path start there because they had a lack of resources. Maybe because you didn't have a lot of friends. Maybe because you were poor when you grow up. I think that can get you on the blue path as well. Like experiencing a strong lack of resources and wanting to acquire resources to make it better for yourself. I think that can make you fall on the blue path easily.
So is this like a scarcity thing? You don't have, so you're going to follow a certain path? there's a lack of something. So,
But how does that fit with Enneagram 5?
Well, the Enneagram 5, I think, connects pretty well to blue. Because it's about having knowledge. Knowledge is also a resource.
Okay, then it makes it can actually be any number of things you're hoarding.
Yeah. There's basically 4 different ways to be blue in that sense. For an INTJ who is blue, I think it's a lot about, well, understanding everything, knowing the answer to everything. And that's also a resource. That's a great power to have as a blue. Could easily compete with anything else.
Now,
it's getting very dark there, Frank.
better. Besides, I am very dark.
Yeah.
That was an interesting point you just made. Is it which path you choose? Is it having what you seek when growing up? Like, for
I
example,
think that's a huge driver, though, isn't it?
Who are you asking?
Everyone. But
But to me, it seems like the motivations can be anything really. So each person has to figure out themselves what is their motivation.
yeah. I wonder if we take if we dive now that we dived into the 4 different ways to be blue in a sense, I wonder if what would you say like the 4 different ways to be yellow would be then? If we think about it, for example, from the perspective of being philosophical and of thinking about your life and where you're going, and if it's about peace and comfort and security and those things.
for me, it's more about being like it's more about comfort, really, and comfort and stability, not really philosophical. So I'm very philosophical.
I'm removing Yanni Trivani.
So you're on the yellow path, are you?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, be respectful to people, please, in the chat. So as an Ian on the yellow path, because it's generally the extroversion and it's the intuition that is the strongest for an ENTP on the yellow path. So it's about like often I call it the detective function. It's about making investigations, and it's about spotting patterns around you and noticing patterns in your life. I guess that's a lot of it as well, like noticing a pattern in your life. I think yellow ENTPs will be very good at finding possibilities, noticing when they have a new possibility come up, noticing when there's a new opportunity to jump at, and overall like jumping on it. I think thinking about what possibility should I jump on.
Yeah, that's pretty good description.
You're starting a new job, aren't you? You're starting a new career in a few months' time?
Me?
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I thought you had a new job coming up.
No, I don't.
You don't.
Oh, I got that idea.
Aren't you going into the Navy?
No, I was already in the Navy. I went to a different branch of the Navy. Not a new career.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Right. You made it sound fancy.
Things to be telling people things so they fancy, but
It sounded like a change, put it that way.
yeah.
And something, a bold step.
I'm very good at making things look exciting, all right?
That's all you need to do, right?
I would say that's my biggest weakness, making my life sound exciting.
Wait. How would you feel if I start narrating your life?
I would hire you as a professional narrator.
I will even do a very nice accent. A very David Edinburgh accent. Even though I suck at it.
For me, I feel like often people slam me for not sharing so much about my personal life and what's going on with me. But for me, I feel like it's so boring. It's so hard for me to, when I do share it, I can feel like everyone is like, I feel like nobody cares about those things. So it's always difficult for me.
The chat asks me to excite them. So should I do a trick? Alright, I'm gonna play ping pong with myself. That was very exciting, wasn't it?
Wow.
Alright, continue.
So what would a yellow path be for an ESTP or an ISTP?
I think stable relationships, most of all. That's the...
Yeah, I think to one path, just enjoying the moment, of course. I mean, it's a stereotype for sure, like it's in all ESFP and ESTP descriptions, but it has some truth to it. Like the overall, like just appreciating what you've been given, thinking about what you have, what's available to you. That overall question for an ESTP at least. And for the IS, of course, it has a lot to do with reflecting on life lessons. What have I experienced in the past? Where am I coming from? And who am I? What did my family? What did my parents do? How can I honor that? What I do? Where do I come from, in a sense? Ciaran is not satisfied with your excitement.
Alright, continue. I will try to think of something.
Yeah, I am almost considering bringing out my juggling tricks.
But if you want, I can do a screen share of my results if you want.
Sure.
If that would be something to discuss.
Yeah, I can definitely look at that. So you got high stability first and foremost. That's high introversion. And you got high conscientiousness. Can you scroll down a little? Yeah, basically, like how I have it is that when we are in touch with our introversion or extroversion, of course, that makes us calm. Like it's about energy. Introversion and extroversion is a lot about energy and where we get our energy. And when we get energy from the wrong things, I think we feel a little unsettled. I feel like, for example, a good explanation is like an INTJ has this is very comfortable with logic and knowledge and what they have learned and what they know about something, but an ENTJ is so much more about testing and practice. So often an ENTJ gets comfort and stability from testing and seeing that they get the same results, testing that they can still do it, testing that they're still able to do it, making sure the resources are still working for them. Where the INTJ is much more comfortable with the theory in itself, with having the knowledge, but not necessarily using it. So an ENTJ needs to use the theory to get value from it, to get stability from it, where an INTJ gets stability from thinking about it and from simply having it in itself.
Would you say it's the same for INTP?
Yeah, it is. INTPs are also like INTJs in that.
Or did you want more? I guess there wasn't any more to look at there.
No, it's good. It's good. Oops. Remove full screen from you. The same as like with intuition and sensing, and like when we are using intuition and sensing, when we are intuitives, we get our energy from intuition. We get our interest, we get our spirit, we get our enthusiasm when we are using intuition. We're bored as hell when we use sensing. We get drained by sensing. So when we have low influence scores, usually that's a sign that we are not using intuition as much as we possibly could. It's perhaps we use a lot more sensing because our job requires it, perhaps because our path in life requires it, or what we're trying to do at the moment. And that takes away a little from our enthusiasm and also from our influence, in the sense that, well, what we say, we sound less energized while we talk, so I think other people find us less interesting to listen to, and we sound less interested in what we are saying. So that also takes away from like when you're passionate about something, when you find something fun, that makes people listen to you. When you're fun, and that's the strength of the yellows, of course, especially. Because they sound excited when they talk. They sound enthusiastic about what they're talking about. So that makes it interesting to listen to.
That makes sense.
Finally, with feeling and the thinking. It's like about what we get our sense of power from, in a sense, what we get our sense of importance from. Like, do we feel like what we do is important? Do we feel like it's meaningful? Do we feel like it's worthwhile? Like sometimes in life you have a lot of motivation to do something, but you don't have a lot of energy to do it. And that's like when you feel like work is important, but you don't really find it fun. Like you feel like your work means something and that it gives something to society and to yourself and that it will fulfill some objective that you want, but it might not be fun. So when we're more towards like doing something that we find important but not fun, that's also when our conscientiousness is high. When our conscientiousness is low, I think that's when we procrastinate a lot as well. In the sense that, well, we struggle to motivate ourselves to do things that are important or necessary because we're more interested in having fun. Lastly, with judging and perceiving, I think it's that when you are in touch with judging and perceiving, it's that you feel more secure in what you're doing. You feel like you have a higher trust in your own decision making. You feel like what you're doing like it's not just that it matters more. That's more like feeling and thinking, of course, but it's that it gives you drive and direction. You feel a strong sense of direction and heightened control in a sense. In a sense that, well, that shouldn't be there. That person shouldn't do that. That shouldn't look like that. Judging and perceiving is like what gives us control over our environment and about over our future and over our decisions and over the environment, the people around us. So even people tend to see perceivers as the procrastinating types, but that's a stereotype. Uh, Perceivers that are in touch with their perceiving function they have a lot of control in the moment. They have a lot of control over who puts up the painting where and how should the painting be put up and who should talk and when should I talk now, should that person talk now. Like they have a lot of power over application. Judgers have a lot of power over structure, but perceivers have a lot of power over application of a plan or of a goal. So it's also like that as a judger, I exercise my control differently than a perceiver. I don't really care so much about how a plan is implemented or who does it or like those kinds of details, but I care more about the general overview of it, and I care more about the overall long-term plan. And I'm like, yeah, well, as long as it gets done, in a sense, that's the important thing. But overall, I tend to have a lot of control overall. I would say I would consider myself a generally quite strong judging type. But I prioritize where I use my control. I don't use it in every situation.
I don't really agree with that preserving types are only on how it can be applied. It's I generally don't care about details as much, if at all.
Yeah, I noticed that I kind of made it sound like it was about details versus generals,
Yeah.
and that's a mistake for sure. It should be more about application in the sense of how do we do it in the moment, not about details, but how we do it in the moment. Do we take that train or do we take that train? Should we leave now? Should we leave later? Like that form of short-term control. Like perceivers are usually the first to be interested in a new idea. They are the first to get hyped up over a new possibility. So that's usually why they take more control in the moment, because they see something new that is interesting. It's okay, it's unrelated to our plan or what we plan to do, but it's interesting. We should look at it. So they try to control the environment to try to get us to go look at it, to go take up this new idea. Where the judger is more interested in long-term opportunities or something that they're still interested in. So we have more control over, well, this is where we were planned to go. This is where we were headed. This is where we are our long-term destination. So that's also why our control manifests differently.
But Erik, Thor, are you green now?
Yeah, I'm a little green and a little red.
Okay, so if you have a bit on everything, you are on different paths in a way, or have different qualities from the paths. Like I have 59 on one and 52 on another. That's not a big difference.
No, and in part the scores I think are also because the test is new. I haven't perfected it. I need to improve on the questions to get it up. But I think it will be more clear as we get more into it as well. Right now I'm also still figuring out what path I think I'm on, because this is a new idea, this is a new theory into myself as well. So, but I do recognize myself a lot more in red and green than in the other two so far.
Yeah, like the one
I like how you're like
Internet works.
Wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Wow.
Jesus is here.
Oh, it's Yelor.
An ENTP 8.
You can tell ENTPs because we smoke.
Ah, of course.
I can confirm that.
It's not just a stereotype, huh? I've heard that INFJs often wear scarves.
That's pretty accurate.
I feel like because I've had scarves a lot as myself, so it's relatable. But
I've never owned a scarf. I don't plan to ever own a scarf.
I own a scarf for a football team. Does that
For
count?
what?
For a football team, with the name of a football team on it.
That's a novelty item. It's a whole different category of clothing.
so, did you follow anything, Taylor? Did you follow any of the discussion before?
My internet was choppy. Yes, I'm changed this later in the chat. But you got my attention. What was the first question you asked? What type of velociraptor it is?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wanted to talk about that. I heard that question.
It's an ESTP. Prove me wrong.
Good.
Very optimistic.
Tell me what you think.
They test. I mean, I don't know, the way they test the wires in Jurassic Park to see where the electrocuted spots are is more analytical and less impulsive. They might be INTJs.
Huh. So what about like the Brontosaurus then?
I disagree about ENTJ maybe, but
Okay, we both think that ENTP. We just don't want to sound self-serving.
that too. But I really don't look. They're group animals. They need to be in groups. If they're not in groups, it's like
That's a good point, actually. I don't think INTJs would be group creatures at all.
You're right. It's an ENTP.
And there's no alpha thing in there going on either, so I don't think ESTP is likely either. There's no like a leader velociraptor who is trying to fight over domination.
there is.
Yeah,
Are
is there?
ENTPs generally alpha typing? I mean, I'm an 8, and I just attributed anything there to 8-ishness. But in general, yeah, we talk over each other. Brontosaurus is an introvert.
Yeah.
Stegosaurus is an introvert. Triceratops is a sensor.
Yeah.
Pterodactyls are badass.
They are.
Yeah. Wait, are we typing dinosaurs now?
Yeah, of course.
Apparently.
That's what I've been trying to do for a while.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up the stream now, but thanks everyone for joining, and we can keep on chatting, of course, here in Aperion. But it's been great having you all here, and it's been good discussions, and it's been fun. Like, it's the first live hangout I do. It's weird for me and new to me, but yeah, I had a good time.
I'm glad I got to indulge my dinosaur typing.
Yeah.
What dinosaur is